This is In Between with Peter Posen, and this is the third part of Artology, Art with Logic. And today we're going to talk about graffiti. The Italian word means to scratch, graffitio, and it was used by archaeologists when they would find different writings on the walls in tombs and stuff. But the Italian word comes from the Greek word, which is graphien, which means write, to write. And so in order to write something, you have to have an alphabet. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of the alphabet. The earliest alphabet we have comes from the Proto-Sinaitic writings in Sinai. The Sinai Desert, they had these dry river beds. They're also called wadis. And on the sides of the cliffs in these wadis, you had this writing in the Bronze Age. And going way back to the Bronze Age. And these writings were written by Canaanite slaves working in Egyptian copper mines. And so the Proto-Sinaitic alphabet was our first alphabet. This is a phonic alphabet, which you can write in different languages because of the sound of each letter, each character. Before that, they had hieroglyphics, which is basically sacred writing, which only the priest would deal with, and they were basically pictures which had ideas and not actually a phonic sounding out of the alphabet. And so I did a graffiti. This is my graffiti, which I'm going to share with you. And there you go. Let me get a little closer. So here we have the Proto-Sinaitic text. And then farther down in 10th century, which is getting into the Iron Age, and then this would be the Greek period. So this ox's head is called Aleph. Aleph means strength. And as it progressed, it became more like a upside down triangle kind of ox's head. And then it pivoted around through the century and looked like this, which you have in the Hebrew. You see this in the later Hebrew, this symbol. And the Greeks adopted it to their language as the alpha. You have the bet. And here you have four walls with a doorway. And bet means house. So this is basically the floor plan of a house. So you have strength and you have house. And through the centuries it took on this shape, and then finally the Greeks adapted it as a beta. So alpha, beta. And as I would pronounce this in Hebrew or Canaanite, it would be ab. Ab. Ab or av means father. So Abba, this is a word that many Christians know about. It means father. So, strength of the house. Bad graffiti, of course, would be racial slurs or political or even dirty words, nasty words, being put on the side of a building or wherever. What would be good graffiti? Well, we now have art. So we have graffiti art, which is generally good. If you want to put a poem on the wall, that would be very creative, or a song. Some graffiti in ancient times were songs and poems that someone had inscribed on a temple in Egypt or somewhere else. Now, Jerusalem has certain codes, and there was a law established in 1917 saying that the outside of your house should have Jerusalem stone. Jerusalem stone is this dolomite limestone. There are several different colors, kind of a rose color or a yellowish gold type of color, and sometimes has like rusty looking streaks in it. But generally it's white, which reflects the light, especially at sundown. The whole city looks like it's gold, the golden city of Jerusalem. And in the 1960s, 1970s, there was a new style of architecture called Brutalist. The Brutalist was basically a type of architecture that was adopted, kind of a postmodernist. It had a concrete only. You didn't paint it, you didn't sculpture it, it was just solid concrete. And that would also work with the artist. In the industrial area and from some of these buildings in the 60s and 70s, the artist has the ability to find a canvas to do his creation on. So anyhow, I want to say that I'm going to go to a video and I'm going to be showing you different artworks throughout the city of Jerusalem. So here we are looking at some of this rough cut Jerusalem stone, and here is the flat slab cut, much easier to do artwork on. Here is some pitted. This is also has flouted with pits, and this is just plain pit. So much difficult. Now this has all three. You have on the top course, you have the rough cut, and then you have the pitted underneath that, and then you have the flat. And so this is the cement. This is the best environment for doing your work. This is your... Here we have some tags. You know, gangs mark their territory with tags, and they also leave messages. Tags, no good. This is commissioned art. This is by the City Creation from Lyon, France, also with the Israeli mural artist. Together they did this. It's called Around the World in 92 Days. It's based on Gabriel Cohen's 1976 painting, which is at the Israel Museum. There you see the pyramids, the Eiffel Tower, and the Tower of Babel. So you have the three continents. Now this is the commissioned work also by the City of Creation. It's taken from photographs from the trade school that was here in 1882. It's the building. These are guys working in a metal shop, learning trades, of course. And here are some of the people running the school. And here's the people learning to be artists, drawing pictures. I don't know what that guy's doing, but I do know that this is a metal lathe, and he's making metal objects, learning how to make metal objects. Another mural from City Creation is on the corner of Jaffa and King George. I saw a before and after picture of this. This is a flat piece of concrete on the side of the building, and they really did a good job painting it three-dimensionals with all that scaffolding. There's a guy putting in a window and a guy fixing a light, and down below that we have a guy playing guitar with his wife singing on a microphone in his back. And it's kind of like a stage. You have that backdrop that's hooked in there, kind of three-dimensional, and down below are the people, and you got curtains, and there's stage lights. So I guess it's all the world is a stage, and we are actors upon it. Now we're going to go into near the Machane Yehuda market. This is some legs and a cat. This is on the concrete. And up here is roof art. They have graffiti artists that climb up on the roof and find a piece of concrete that they can paint on. Here's another one. And here's a guy in someone's backyard. And I don't want to grow up. This artwork was destroyed by taggers. You see they're all over. I think taggers have an ego problem. They want to see their name everywhere. So they kind of messed up this guy's work. This is Jerusalem in blocks across the street from the Shuk. The Shuk is the market. And down on Jaffa Boulevard and King George Street, this is the bird on the side of a building. Yeah, so anyhow, Machane Yehuda Market is an open market. It's called the Shuk. That's the Arabic word. Here's some doors that were painted. And the shutters that they close in the evening, these haven't been painted yet. At night, after everything closes, you'll be able to see all the artwork. But it's best to come on Saturday because everything's closed on Saturday. It's the Sabbath. So you can see all of this artwork in the daylight and get good pictures. People, put little inscriptions there in loving memory of somebody. And sometimes they sign their art. Sometimes they don't. Here's a guy and his donkey. This is my favorite one. Sorry, babe, but we're closed. You have a lady on the phone with a drink in her hand and, well, I'm sorry, we are closed. This is the Tapiot Industrial Park. This particular work is done by an Iranian artist, Human Kahalili. He did 18 murals in Israel. This is about women who are victims of the Iranian government. They uncovered their hair and they were persecuted. This is titled Women, Life, and Freedom. This is Solomon the King and the Queen of Sheba. I think it's done by an Ethiopian because you have Ethiopian lettering on the crown of King Solomon there. Now this bird is called the Hopel bird in the Bible. In Hebrew he's called Tukifat. And he was in line to become the national bird of Israel. But he was voted out by another bird. This is called the tree house, or the house in the tree, whichever way it goes. A very fine work by some artist. I don't have a signature on it. These are all shops and repair shops and shops selling curtains and various things. This is the industrial area. Here we got a band playing in the parking lot. Really going at it there. The cat's meow, I guess. And here's some medical stuff here. So this ends the third part of Artology. This is Peter Posen for In Between.